Good morning. We're going to roll here for about 5-7 minutes, and then we're going to get Johnny Rogers up here to get us pumped up. So hopefully these seats will fill in here as we get this ball rolling. So I wanted to show a video that was an 8-minute video. For some reason on Shark Tank, they took down the video over the last week, I guess. And so we're going to show a 2.5-minute version of this that I thought was very moving. So I hope you enjoy this.
Hi, Sharks. My name is Kaylee Young.
I'm Christian Young.
I'm Kira Young. And we're the Young family.
Our dad invented the Cupboard Pro, and it was his dream to pitch it on Shark Tank. Unfortunately, he passed away before he had that chance. But we're here today to continue his legacy and make that dream a reality.
Here's a video our dad made about demoing the Cupboard Pro.
My name is Keith Young. I'm the inventor of the Cupboard Pro. Cupboard Pro is really, really simple to use. Open up your cup, slide it in to the tongue and groove in the board. I'm gonna cut an onion. I'm gonna take all these scraps. They're gonna go right into the cup. It is so easy. I'm a New York City firefighter. I'm a father, a widower. When I'm at home, I have to get things done rapidly because I have 3 children. I'm a single parent now. I need to kind of be on my game with my kids. Everything revolves around my kitchen, really, at home. That's where the heart of a regular family's house is.
We feel honored to be here today and to share a little bit of Keith Young and the Cupboard Pro with you all. So who's ready to make our dad's dream a reality with us?
So your dad wanted to come on Shark Tank before he passed
Yes,
away.
that was actually his audition video. My dad invented this when I was in high school, and then as he was getting his first prototypes, our mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. And he put everything on hold to be by her side. On August 22nd, 2012, God called my mom home, and my dad just showed us what strength was in every moment that he continued to show up. In December, he got his delivery of 2,000 boards, and at that time he was diagnosed with cancer, which is a 9/11 related cancer from being a fireman there. And he was on hospice in the beginning of the year, and he just passed away 3 months ago.
So sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How many have you sold so far?
300 in the last 3 weeks.
And you.
This board is really heavy, really great quality.
Thank you.
So what overwhelms you right now?
Honestly, it's kind of hard to overwhelm the 3 of us just because of the amount of stress that you go through just seeing your loved ones sick. And we're only able to be here because of how strong our parents were.
You know, is it possible for you just to step out in the hallway for a second?
Yeah.
For us to talk?
They bring him back. Jay, Ryan, can you help me back there? I didn't know if Johnny was going to make you laugh or cry, so I wanted to make sure we brought some tears in here beforehand, right? Johnny's crying like a baby now. They bring him back in. All 5 sharks work together. They wanted $100,000 for 10%. They gave him $100,000, $20,000 each for 20%. They all were willing to help, give their expertise to make this a better product. And 100% of the 20% that the sharks make is going back to a foundation to help first responders in New York City. So it was a crazy, cool story, you know, of kids overcoming a lot and still having the guts to come on this. And it was great to see the sharks come together and do something positive. I saw an article. Since then, they sold out of their boards immediately overnight and now have a real business that they can move forward on. So I just thought that was a cool story. The original one was 8 minutes. And I'm like, I looked, and one guy was filming it from his phone. I'm like, this doesn't work. So hopefully it'll come back up. But it was a cool story. So I hope you enjoy that. A couple things, and then we're going to get to Johnny as our guest speaker here. Move Guru is also called, where's Maggie? It's called, so we're getting emails saying Smart Move. I was confused. People saying, what happened to Move Guru? Move Guru and Smart Move is the same thing. It is now up and running. Yes. So again, everyone, that's a concierge service where at no cost to you or your client, they will go out and OPPD, MUD, trash removal, COX. They will schedule all that stuff for you. Again, we've talked continuously about creating concierge services, things that make this a simpler, easier transaction for our clients that differentiates us from others. We have this. We do not believe or know of anyone else in the marketplace that has this. So that's up and running. We had a training, and we've got more training coming up. Yeah, and clients are automatically opted in. Clients are automatically opted into this program. So I'll have next salesman, when we get more time, I'll get Maggie and someone up here to make sure that everyone knows about this, but this is something you clearly need to be utilizing with your clients. Awards breakfast is next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, so if you've not signed up, and I know we've got a bunch of signed up, please sign up. I don't know if we've had Connie, if we had to give a final number yet. Carrie, do you know?
Wednesday we have to give the final.
So we got to give a final number this Wednesday, so please sign up. It's over at a view on State Street again. It's going to be high energy. We're excited about it. We've got some fun songs. We're going to move you, and we're going to get ready for 2020 as we do that, head into that. And then a couple other things that I want to promote here real quick. The Builder Blitz. I think we've got 40 builders at this moment signed up for the Builder Blitz, which is going to be the first weekend of April on a Saturday and Sunday. You've got a program. I don't want to speak for, so tell me if I misspeak. We're getting flags for everybody. We're getting directionals for everybody. You're on radio. What else? Waze. Yeah, social media, and a program on Waze targeting that will actually map it for everybody. So we're trying to draw attention to our builders and you guys. So if you're not signed up for that, please get signed up for that. We think that's going to be a robust thing, and I think it shows our builders that we're trying to work on their behalf to create interest and activity. And what else was there? Nothing important. All right. Oh, well, I do have one thing sitting in my hand. Frederick, there's going to be 3 speakers. In Kansas City, Reese and Nichols is kind of doing a takeoff of what we've been doing the last 3 years here of Explosion. Reese and Nichols is the largest broker in the state of Missouri. They're going to do a thing called Ignite. We sent out an email on this. Did anyone get this email about a week or two ago? Look at this. There's going to be 3 guest speakers. Gino, obviously the chairman of HomeServices of America. Frederick from the TV show. What's the TV show he's on? $1 Million Listings in New York City is going to be in there. And me. So you know they're going to be great speakers. I mean, Johnny Rogers ain't there. That would be the quadfecta right there if we had those 4. But it's going to be in Kansas City. We can carpool down, but I think it's going to be a great event. It's starting at 3 o'clock, I think on a Monday, running all day Tuesday, and then a half day on Wednesday, and then we'll get back here. So please consider that. We're going to send something out again on this over the next week, and I believe it's $300 to sign up. They have early birds till February 17th, so until Monday. So I think that'll be a cool thing to go down and attend, guys. So now for what we're waiting for here today. My friend, a great friend over the years of the Sunshine Kids. You've donated many things, helmets, Heisman helmets, and stuff like that to help raise lots of money in our auctions. You've always been here to help support us. So it's great working with Johnny and doing stuff with him and seeing what he's doing in the community. We're going to play a quick little video, and then we're going to play a quick little video, and then we're going to get you up here.
Oh, well, the reason why we're actually playing the video is because it's been a pretty good year for Nebraska with a 150-year deal on CBS where they chose the best college football team and players out of 150 years. Fortunately, the University of Nebraska, the 1971 team was chosen as the best college football team of all time. And since you guys are working as a team, and since you guys are a team, it's really significant to understand just how much you can do as a team and to show you what that 1971 team did do. They also chose a game in there, the 71 game between Oklahoma and Nebraska was chosen as the best college football game of all time. It was the game of the century, and it went on. So we're going to take. I'm going to take a minute, and I'll narrate through and give you a little history about how it goes at the same time. When we get started. Lyle Bremser, as a lot of you know, the people my age for sure know, about Lyle Bremser is probably the greatest broadcaster, sports announcer in the history of Nebraska. He's going to be calling the plays. Now, in there we have a deal where I'll tell you audience participation, and I would like you to just count every time out 1, 2, 3, how many blocks there are on one team. You know, there's 11 people on a team. Offense 11, defense 11. So there's a possibility of 11 blocks. So I want you to just count to see just how many blocks that we've gotten on one play. Okay? And we'll start it off right now, and then we'll start our story. Hit the lights, please.
Rogers deep for Nebraska. Here's Wiley's kick, gets high. It holds up there. Rogers takes the ball at the 30. He's hit and got away. Back upfield to the 35, to the 40. He's to the 45. He's to the 50, to the 45, to the 40, to the 35, to the 20,
Look at Morris
to the
almost
10.
got in.
He's all the way home.
In 1969, the Huskers won their first conference championship in years under the leadership of a quarterback named Van Bronson. They called him Van the Man because he could shake, he could bake you, he could use you all up. That's me. It's the wrong video, but Van only had one problem, you guys, though. Van had a bad attitude. Before the next season even got started, Van had lost his starting quarterback position to number 14, Jerry Taggy. Jerry went on to have a career in the NFL and actually was 7th in the Heisman race. Not because he was really a great quarterback, but because he was a team player and a student of the game. Coach Tom Osborne and Bob Devaney worked really well together. Devaney understood that football was made up of offense, defense, and special teams. And so we spent about as much time on special teams as we did the others. I'll let you guys know this is the wrong video. This is my signature move here. It's when I came out. After the game, the press was livid. They wanted to know why this black player with white shoes had the audacity to turn around and run touchdowns backwards. Coach Devaney told him he could run them any kind of way he wants if it's as long as he runs them. Coach Osborne did a calculation. He did a calculation that every time that we got the ball past our 40-yard line on a kickoff or a punt return, that we scored 80% of the time. When we didn't, we only scored 10. This is at Alabama in the Orange Bowl. This is the beginning of integration of football in the South. After this game, Bear Bryant said he would never have any black players win his uniform, came back and said, I'm gonna go out and recruit me some of them. I've touched touchdowns in the air, I've caught passes. I've ran quite a few touchdowns. Oh, here we are. This is the one. We want to count every block you see, every time you see a block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got that one myself. 6, 7. I got another one. 8. Here, come on, Jensen. 10. The name of the play is everybody get a block.
I don't know how long the records will last, but it's been one of the most rewarding experiences to go on for 20 years past, and to see the people still give you that much recognition and credit, for excellence, and the people, you dare to be great, you really can.
There's the whistle. We're ready to play football. Bellar's kick is away, and it's a high end-over-ender into that wind. Johnny Rogers takes it at the 2. He runs out to the 5, to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, the 30. He's to the 40. He's going to go all the way. Johnny Rogers, man, woman, and child, he's gone.
This is my slow motion video. The referee wasn't there for me,
98 yards right down the football field. He took it up to 2, came straight up the middle to about the 20. Then he veered to his left. He got some great blocks, broke one tackle, and then cut to his right back into the middle of the field, went all the way to score, and the kick by Sanger is good. Johnny the Jet Rogers.
Do we have the other video we can play it at the end, Johnny?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Do we have it? What do we know?
There's another video on there. It's the first one. We went to the second one, but they're similar to the same, except I just know the.
You look great in both of them.
well, our team. It's a matter of our teamwork. You know, that's the deal here, and this is like a team, and you got to really work together. So I'm just telling you the significance of what you can actually do when you work together, and to be chosen, University of Nebraska be chosen as the greatest college football team of all time. That's usually a support, a compliment to our fan base, because I remember when I was playing, every single game that we played in, every single game we traveled, we took at least 25,000 people followed us every single place we went, even to Hawaii. So we had a team within the team all the time. And I'm glad to be here with the Berkshire Hathaway team. Y'all got some pretty girls in here. I wouldn't mind working here again. I'm telling you. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska here. My first recollection that I can remember when I was about 4 years old. I was born with tuberculosis and asthma when my mother was 14 years old. And my first recollection is that I was standing on the corner and we were just homeless. We didn't know we had had a confusion with the landlord, and so we were moving and we didn't have a place to go. But my great-great-great-grandmother from East St. Louis had just migrated here, like a lot of other people, because of the packing houses, Clara and Willie Walker. And they moved to a place down on 14th and Locust. A lot of people might know where Locust Street is. And this is where the poorest of the poorest actually migrated when they first came to Omaha because of the packing houses. So we were able to move in with my great-great-grandmother and grandfather down there. And I remember clearly that on the north side of the house, my grandpa had dug a well. That's what I was thinking about this morning. We must have been drinking water out of Carter Lake because it was had to, because he built a well right over that way. That was the only place I could think they had water. And my job was to bring in water every day. I had to bring in water, which doesn't seem like a lot, but water's pretty heavy, especially when you're 4 or 5 years old and you got asthma and tuberculosis. I remember on the east side of the house that we had a chicken coop, and there was chickens in the chicken coop, and I had to go out there and I had to get the eggs. I had to get the eggs and bring in eggs every single day. But my grandpa had this goddamn rooster called Big Red, and Big Red was kind of going around acting like he was running things, and I was definitely afraid of the chicken because the boy was a big boy. He's bigger than I was. And then I remember that we had on the south side of the house, we had an outhouse. And so my grandpa took me out to the outhouse for the first 3 or 4 weeks. He took me out there and set me up on the deal, making sure that I could get there back and forth. And then after that, I had to make it on my own. I remember one day, I was standing at the door and I was thinking, what would happen if Big Red caught me outside at night in the dark by myself? I said, and I'm looking out there, I'm thinking about running out there trying to go to the bathroom. And I said, well, should I run or should I hold it? Or maybe I should just go get my grandpa. Next thing I know, I had shit it all over myself. I had duty running all down my pants leg, all over. It was just a shame. My grandpa was so upset with me because I had dirtied my pants, and I was so embarrassed I didn't know what to do. So I vowed I was never going to let that happen again for no goddamn chicken. But again, I'm standing at the door 3, 4, 5 days later, and I'm looking out there, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get to the bathroom, and I'm going to make my move. So I hit it, boom, I jump out there, and I start sprinting. The first thing I noticed is that the door slammed. I said, damn, maybe I shouldn't have slammed the door. So I ran down, and I'm hitting it, and like I said, I got asthma. I'm kind of a sickly little guy, but I'm running pretty darn good. Things are going well here. I'm hitting it good. And then I looked back, and there was Big Red. He was running up on me faster than I can tell you. Big Red hit me, knocked me up against the outhouse. I fall all up into duty and all the things around the place, and I go into a spasm. I have, and right before that, I was able to yell loud enough that people heard me. But I was out there, and I was thinking I'm going to die, and my mother came out and kicked Big Red off me. And then I'm sitting in a bad way that we got to go to the hospital. So my mother's taking me up the hill. She's telling me we got to go to the hospital. Only problem is we don't have a car. So she has to walk me up Locust Street to the bus stop to get to the bus to go over to a university hospital. And getting up that hill was a job. And I remember my Aunt Mandy and Minnie used to come around all the time, and they'd be at their picnics and whatever. They'd be talking to each other, and they'd be talking about sure it's a shame that my mother has this sick little boy. He probably ain't gonna even live that long. And I'm thinking today, this must be that day, because I'm hitting up that hill, and I can't hardly make it, and I'm crying, and I'm thinking about my grandpa. What's gonna happen if I die? I won't be able to help my grandpa. And I really want to help my grandpa because I'm the only one helping grandpa, but I can't breathe. I'm hitting it. I'm thinking, this could be it. And I finally get to the top of the hill. We make it to the bus stop. And I get to the hospital, and the doctor says that I just made it just in time. And as I think back, I think that fear that came in then, FEA, or false evidence appearing real, that everything I wanted out of life was going to be on the other side of fear. And I think that my experiences with the Rooster is one of the reasons why I'm the only guy in college football who never had a fair catch. Ain't nothing scared me more than that Rooster. A chicken. In 1962, I had learned one of the greatest lessons of my life. I discovered baseball when I was just 8 years old. Man, did I love baseball. I would come out from junior high school, and I would play whatever sport they had in the season. I played football, I played basketball, I did track and field, but baseball was my favorite. Tommy Davis at the boys club was the head of the boys club at the time, and he kind of took a liking to me. I think he took a liking to me because he knew I didn't have a father figure in my life. I really didn't even meet my father until I was 17 years old. So I went through pretty much my whole life, and Tommy told me that I had potential. And I really didn't even know what potential was at the time, but it did come at a good time because I didn't know then if I was going to go to Yale or go to jail. I could have went to Penn State or the State Penn. But because he took an interest in me, I think it really turned me around and kept me going in the right direction. One day, Tommy calls my house and asked my mother could she come down for a meeting and to make sure she brought me along. I said, why you want a meeting? I don't know what I have done. This was about to happen. So she comes up to Horseman, and we walk down to the boys' club together, and we get into the room, and Tommy greets us with a smile, so that makes me feel better. And she tells my mother, said, Mrs. Rogers, Johnny has a unique talent for baseball, but he's in desperate need of a coach. Somebody to teach him the finer points and strategies of the game. Over at the North Omaha Boys Club, there's a coach named Josh Gibson, who we believe is a world-class coach. He's Bob Gibson's brother. He just helped Bob Gibson get a contract with the St. Louis Cardinals, and we think he's a world-class coach. If you can commit to me that you can get Johnny back and forth to the practices and to the games all summer long, I'm willing to go talk to Josh Gibson to make sure to get Johnny on the team. What do you say? Well, my mother looked at him like he was kind of crazy because we didn't have a car. He said, there's no way that I can get Johnny back and forth to the games and to the practices. We don't even have a car. He said, and Johnny's only 11 years old. He don't have a career. We said, the coaches at the boys club, they're good enough. They're good coaches. I think that Johnny needs just to stay at the boys club and just do what he's doing and maybe get himself a little job after school. And then Tommy asked me, he said, Johnny, what do you want to do? All right, well, that was the first mistake. He asked me what I wanted to do, and I yelled out, I just want to make $100,000. Now, I don't even know where I heard $100,000. I had no idea what $100,000 was. It was just the most money I'd ever heard. My mom had told me to stop telling people that I was going to make $100,000 because black people didn't make $100,000. They was going to think I was crazy and take me out of the house. So when he asked me what I wanted to do, and I said $100,000, my mother slapped the shit out of me. Boom! Knocks me all down right in front of Tommy. I'm crying, sitting there, Tommy trying to talk. Tommy tells her, Miss Rogers, oh, you're right, Miss Rogers. The coaches at the boys' club, they're good coaches. But there's a difference between a good coach and a great coach. And a good coach will make Johnny a good baseball player, but a great coach will make him a champion. Now I remember those words that it was like it was yesterday. A good coach will make him a good baseball player, but a great coach will make him a champion. Well, fortunately enough, because my mother had jacked me up, she gave Tommy permission to pick me up and take me to the practice and to the games and all summer long. And I was able to go join the boys club, to the YMCA. And I was able to get coached by Josh Gibson. And from that point on, I had several other mentors that came on too that really made a difference in my life. Really made a difference in my life. And so I'm just wanting to think about it for a minute now. Maybe, just maybe, success is more about not whether you're brilliant or bright. Maybe success is basically comes around surrounding yourself with the right people, like you're doing here right now. We might as well just think about it. Maybe that's where success is, surrounding yourself with the right people. Let's think about it. Because you become what you think about most of the time. And when you're in a room where people are trying to be successful, you're more apt to be successful. Well, when I was a senior in high school, I got drafted. I was All-American in football. I was All-City in the holiday tournament in basketball. I was national champion in the long jump and the triple jump in track. And in baseball, I got drafted to the Los Angeles Dodgers, and I was All-American in baseball. My world-class coach had taught me that you could be anything that you want if you just wanted to focus. And focus is F-O-C-U-S, follow one course until you succeed. I got drafted to the Dodgers, and I went out to the Los Angeles when I was a senior, and I had two goals. One, well, maybe three. One is I wanted to make the team. I wanted to have a dream of $100,000. I'm going to give me $100,000 one way or another. And I went out to meet my father. That was the first time I had never met my father before. My father lived in California, and I was going to stay with him, and he was going to get me back and forth to the practices or whatever. So I get out to California, and I'm at the Dodgers camp, and I'm doing great. I can switch hit. I can drag down first base with my left hand. I was batting .425 with my left, .350 with my right, and I could run alongside the ball, and they never would catch me. I had a contract. It was no doubt in my mind, I'm going to make $100,000. I said, shit. Well, they offered me a contract. I made the team. I made the cut. And they offered me a 3-year deal for $25,000 a year for 3 years. Now, I wasn't very good at math, but that didn't seem like $100,000. Any kind of way I could make it. And I told my father, I said, my mom told me, she said, black people don't make $100,000. Maybe I'm just not going to make $100,000. I might as well just forget it. And he told me, well, no, black people aren't making $100,000. You just got to know where. He said, I'll pick you up tomorrow, and I'll pick you up here, and I'll show you. He picks me up and takes me over to University of Southern California's the Coliseum. All right? Ernie Davis was the first black Heisman Trophy winner, and Ernie had died before he could go to the pros, but he would have made $100,000. Mike Garrett went to USC and played for the Kansas City Chiefs. He made $100,000. And in 1968, which when I was graduating in 69, O.J. Simpson definitely made $100,000. So I'm saying, hey, all right, well, there are people who are making $100,000. I come back to Nebraska, and Charlie Washington, they have the Charlie Washington Library. It's named after Charlie Washington. He was one of my mentors, and he had set up a meeting with Coach Bob Devaney. At that time, the Nebraskans were trying to run Coach Devaney out of town because they had 2 6 and 7 seasons. They hadn't really won a championship since Jesus was a kid. It was rough. And so Bob, he comes over to my place. Charlie set up an appointment for me to see Coach Devaney. He wants to talk to me about coming to the University of Nebraska. So he comes to my mother's house, and I'm upstairs. They tell me to come downstairs because the coach is here. He's the most famous guy I ever met, so I'm looking forward to meeting Coach Devaney. And I run downstairs, and he has his back to me, and I run up on him, and he turns around to see me, to greet me. And the first thing I thought about, I said, this guy looks like Mr. Potato Head. He's funny. What did you? I couldn't believe it. I'm chuckling to myself the whole time that he's talking to me. And he starts to get serious. He starts to make some sense. So he tells me that he is going to go on a path here, and he's going to recruit a whole bunch of African-American players, and he's going to let them play. And that he doesn't want to win just conference championships. It's time to win national championships. And we're not going to have just win Big 8 awards. We want to have All-Americans, Heisman Trophy winners. All these things are going to happen because he's going to do this. And when I commit to come to the University of Nebraska, I said, Coach, that sounds great to me, but I got my own plan. I'm going to USC, or I'm going to play with the Dodgers some kind of way. I got to get $100,000. I know, you got your problems, I got mine. Well, he tells me, he said, well, Johnny, I'll tell you what I'll do. Well, how is it going? I said, well, it's not going great, but that's my plan. He said, well, if you come to the University of Nebraska, he said, I will give you a scholarship in football, and I will also give you a scholarship in baseball. And a lot of you guys probably don't know I played baseball at the University of Nebraska. But I went down and I took the deal. I said, hey, he said, then you have a better chance of probably getting that $100,000 if you can play those two together. And I thought that made a lot of sense because I really wasn't getting a lot of action. The team wasn't coming up in the money, and USC wasn't offering me a scholarship. I was still trying to scuttle for it. So I said, well, I took the deal. I come down to the University of Nebraska, and my very first year in 1969, as on the video, Nebraska Huskers won their first conference championship in years. Things are going great in the right direction. In 1969, we had a freshman football team. Freshmen weren't able to play varsity like they can today. So I had to play on the very freshman football team, but I got to play varsity baseball. So I made the freshman team. We did great. The team did great. We can see the guys that are going to move up they're going to make really a difference coming into 1970, and things looking good. In baseball, I made all conference my first year in baseball at the University of Nebraska. So my future was so bright, I started wearing shades. Next season comes, I'm thinking about going to the end of the season, and the school year is up. School year is up. We've had a great year. We won our first conference championship. We made all Big 8 in baseball my first year at the University of Nebraska. We're at the last day of school. We're partying. Everybody's getting together. And so me and some guys, 2 or 3 guys, we're in my room, and we decided we need more liquor. So we go out to get us some more liquor so we can party some more, because everybody's doing all kinds of things all over campus. There's wrecks and fires and fights and parties. Everybody's doing everything. People trying to find things to do. So we go out to get some more alcohol, and on the way back, one of the guys said, well, let's rob that gas station. I said, okay. Probably happened almost like that. because we were looking for things to do. We were just trying to find whatever to do. So we stopped to get some gas. We run in, we take the money, we get $100. We got $30 a piece. $30 a piece. And after I woke up that next morning, I said, well, God, that was expensive, $100. I'm going to be nervous for a while here now. So I'm worrying, and I'm thinking something's going to happen. Well, she may have to turn myself in so we get the money back. Time goes on, and nothing happens. Nothing happens. We come on to the football team year, and our very first game is at the Coliseum at USC, and we play in USC. I can't believe that I'm back at the stadium at USC, that I finally got here, and the SC did a great job of tying us because we had a better team, but we just weren't really used to, to being there yet, and so they ended up tying us. But from that experience, we went on to the next game, the next game, the next game, went right on through the season. We got down to the Orange Bowl. We rated number 3, and number 1 and number 2 lose. We beat LSU, and we won our first national championship ever. Ever. We had more people at the airport when we got back than we had in all of Lincoln. Everybody had come to Lincoln. It was really just a great time. All right, well, season goes through. I'm at the baseball season, and I'm really doing great. I'm heading on for some real great things. And about that same goddamn time of the year before, that year, the police come to my door, and they want to know about the gas station holdup. And I said, oh, wow. So, make a long story short, they took me to jail. They took me to jail. I got kicked off the football team. It was very questionable whether we were going to be able to get it together or not. I had many people that were asking me to come back. I had people writing letters telling all the different reasons why I shouldn't be allowed to play for $30 that we really got a piece. It was some hard times. I went from the College Football Hall of Fame to College Football Hall of Shame. I had national articles written about me all across the country because I had so much visibility, all the different things I had done fairly well. So it was a very discouraging time. I remember being at my apartment, and I'm sitting under my dining room table. I'm sitting under the table contemplating different ways that I can kill myself. How am I going to pull myself out of here? Because I really just can't take it. How could I have been so stupid as to do something so trivial and to get me in this situation now that ain't no way in the world I'm going to make my $100,000. I'm distraught. And I'm thinking about it. The only reason I think that I didn't really kill myself, that I was able to make it, because I had 2 sons and a daughter by the time I was 18, 19 years old. And I didn't want them to grow up without their dad because I had grew up without my dad. And I knew what the pain was of not really having a parent around. And so the hesitation came until help came. I'm sitting under that goddamn table, and I hear people coming in and ruffling at my door, and nobody really has a key to my place. I can't figure out who this could be, but they come in. And the manager had let them in, and he walks around the corner and sitting up there, and he walks over to me, and he looked bent down, and it was Coach Devan, and he said, Johnny, how you doing down there? I said, Coach, I'm not doing too well. He said, get on up, bring yourself around here. He said, we're going to try to do what we can do, kind of work this out. He said, are you willing to do whatever I ask you to do and to listen and apply the things that I'm going to about tell you right now? I said, yeah, Coach, I am. And so I'm ready to do whatever because I'm just have lost it. He said, well, I want you to get out a piece of paper. Get out a piece of paper and write this down so you can remember because you look like you're in pretty bad shape. So he gets me that down and he writes me down. The first thing he tells me, he said, write down 8. And I said, all right, Coach. He said, first thing you do is you're going to have to start holding yourself to a higher standard. You can't be going around hanging with the type of people that are doing the type of things that you've done to get yourself into this kind of situation. And you're going to have to start having integrity. I said, well, you got to say what you're going to do and do what you say. I said, well, Coach, what is integrity? He said, integrity is maintaining your commitment even after circumstances have changed. I said, well, what do you mean? He said, you've told everybody in this state and on this team that you're going to go help us win another national championship. You're going to come back and you're going to win. You're going to be a good player. You're going to do some things. And now you're sitting around here talking about killing yourself. That's not integrity. I said, all right, Coach, I get you. Then he said, E, write down E. He said, you have to expect to win. You're a loser. You're expecting to lose here right now. You can't win if you're expecting to lose. Because things don't get what you want, you get what you expect. And you put it out there, and you have to expect to take yourself to a better place. It's up to you. That's my chance. It's by your choice. He said, write down I. Write down I. I is you have to invest in yourself and others. It wasn't enough that I have to get myself out of this hole. I have put my whole team, my whole state, my whole city, everybody, I put everybody in the hole. I have to invest in myself and others. When I started going over to university to get back into the game, and I started running stadium stairs, trying to get myself really back in the condition to get it together, others started to do the same darn thing because they followed that example. S, you have to set goals, and you have to you stick to them. And our goal was to win another national championship and to get ourselves to the pros. That's what our guys, when you go to the University of Nebraska, you're not going there when you're playing football you want a degree, but you want to go to the pros. And that's what we're trying to get. We're trying to get to the pros. You set goals to do that. M, he said, write down M. M, you have to make things happen, and to do that, you have to be mentally tough. You really can't be weak. You know, things just don't happen. You have to make things happen. A, write down A. A is you have to ask for help. Not because you're weak, but because you want to stay strong. Most men figure that asking for help, and maybe women too, that asking for help is a sign of weakness, when it's actually a sign of strength. People are not going to help you if you're showing weakness. But if you're taking the steps to hold yourself to the right standards, you're going to be expecting to win. You're going to be investing in yourself. You're going to be mentally tough. You can't be willing to ask for help, you're probably going to get it. And then he said the right last letter was N, that never give up on anything big or small. And we call that also no fair catch. And that's when he made the deal with me that if I came back and I was able to get this deal together here, that he would give me, that I would have the right to call the plays and I would never have to fair catch. And Coach Osborne states in my book, 10 Minutes of Insanity, where we tell all these stories, that I'm the only guy in college football that never had a fair catch. And so it worked to that benefit. When I did go back to the team, it was really a difficult time because, you know, your pride is up there all at once. But I learned then that people don't do what you say, they do what they see you doing. And so because they see me working diligently, trying to get myself back in shape, because I hadn't been to practice or been out working out for 3, 4, 5 months at that time when we got back before everything happened. So I had to get myself in condition, and they started to. The better I got, the better they got. Coach Osborne and I stood out every single practice. We worked harder after practice than we worked during practice. I caught hundreds of balls, what we call horseshoes and turnarounds every single day. We ran laps every single day. We were just very intense workout, but the team got better, and we got into a place where we really believed that we were going to win. Well, it worked. We came on and we won our second national championship. And we beat Oklahoma in the game of the century. We came out and we beat Alabama in the Orange Bowl. And we went on to the next season where I had a really great season. I got drafted to the San Diego Chargers. I was able to win the Heisman Trophy. I get a contract and they offer me $50,000. I said, damn. Mom was right, $50,000 a year. Well, The San Diego Chargers offered me $50,000. The Montreal Alouettes have my rights. They have my rights, all right? So I make an appointment to fly up to see the Alouettes. And when I get off the plane, and Sam Berger, the owner of the team, he said, Johnny, what is it going to take for you to bring that Heisman Trophy and come to Montreal, the Alouettes, and play football? And of course I told him, $100,000. And he said, okay. I said, damn. Well, I tell you that story because thoughts are not just things, thoughts are the cause of things. And if you hold a thought long enough, you could probably have it, you know? Believe in yourself. There have been billions of people on the face of the planet, but there's never been people just like you. There's never, your dreams and your goals, they're real. You can do them, you know? We can focus in on different things, like I said, focus, F-O-C-U-S, follow that course until you succeed. You're not just human beings, we're humans becoming, you know, and we get better all the time. And thoughts are not just things, thoughts are the cause of things. And you are what you think about most of the time. What are you thinking about most of the time? What are you trying to do? Can you hold that thought long enough? Can you don't fair catch? Put yourself in that position to where you can really see how bad do you really want to be a better person. You put more time in making yourself better, working on you, than you do on your job, and you will be fine. Believe in the people that you're working with, because it's all about anything you could do by yourself ain't big enough. Ain't big enough. Teamwork makes your dreams work. You don't win national championships by yourself. You don't win Heisman trophies by yourself. You don't build a great company by yourself or for yourself. It's always going to be in conjunction with others that you make your greatest accomplishment, and teamwork is going to make your dreams work. Isn't it ironic how the last four letters in American end with I can? You can make it happen, but you can't give up on anything big or strong. You have to realize that every day is game day. Not every other day, but every single day is game day. I thank you for listening to me here today. All right. We gotta take it all right. Go Big Red. All right, go Big Red. I say Husker, you say Power. Husker. 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 All right, every day's game day, y'all.
Anybody have any questions for Johnny?
Yeah, any questions or a little Q&A? Yeah.
Is that why they say go Big Red? Because of Big Red?
Oh, no. I didn't know about that Big Red.
The question is because of the chicken. Is that why they say go Big Red, because of Big Red?
I feel embarrassed sometimes. I've never been afraid of anything in my life as much as I've been that chicken. That's for real. But
Big Red was going to come.
Oh, and he had weapons. He had little hooks on his arm and stuff. Boy, and he thought he ran things, you know?
One sec. Who watched the NFL awards a couple weeks ago? Where they gave out the top awards? Nobody? Steve Harvey got up there, and Steve Harvey, it reminds me of Johnny talking here a little bit. He says, you know what, I haven't talked to anybody about this. Everyone knows who Steve Harvey is, right? Yeah. He says, he's the MC in this thing. He says, I haven't talked to anybody. He says, I haven't got anybody's input on this. He said, but you know, we're talking about racial equality in the NFL. He says, there's a couple things he said, but a couple stand out to me that remind me of Johnny. He says, one, he says, just give us one more black head football coach. He says, we'll give you 2 white cornerbacks. He says, now I don't know of one white cornerback in the NFL. He says, but I'd highly recommend you don't put them both on the same team. And then he's finishing up. He says, now you just give us 1 black owner. He says, we're going to give you 1 white return guy. He said,
they got Christian.
They do. And I thought about that. So they do have Christian.
Yeah, Christian.
He says,
our Jet Award winner.
Who in the right mind wants to be a punt returner? He says, it takes about 4 seconds for a ball to get down there. He says, you get ready to catch it. and says the most angry men on the field, because they're playing special teams, not offense or defense, they're charging down there and they can get there in 4 seconds. He says, now you catch the ball and they blow you up. He says, don't you worry, we're going to give you a white punt returner. Just we get one black owner. So, guys, another hand for Johnny. Was that good?
Thank you.
Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate it.
All right,
Great job.
thank you. Thank you.
Johnny will stick around, I'm sure, answer some questions for you. You'll float around here for a little bit, Johnny?
Sure, yeah, we can take a couple pictures or something.
Any other questions? Please? No?
I got a camera, I can take pictures.
Okay.
I have a question. What's the H in Heisman?
Hold yourself to higher standards. We call it the Heisman factor system. Success is not a secret, it's a system. You have to have some type of a system. People have goals, everybody have goals, but you have to have some type of system to reach these goals. And that's a system to reach your goals.
Right, you think about it. Johnny says, believe in yourself, right?
Believe in yourself.
Put a system in place, hold yourself to a higher standard. All these things, whether sports or business or any aspect of life, they all work.
They all work. It's universal laws. You know, you can just think about it. If you held yourself to a higher standard, you're going to do better things. All right. If you expect to win, or you expect to lose, what are you expecting? That's pretty much what's going to happen. All right. Now you know you got to invest in yourself. You got to put some time in yourself. You got to work hard. You got to think of the things you really want to do, but you're really going to take some time to invest in yourself. And then you have to, well, if you're going to invest in yourself, you're setting goals, right? You got to have a goal, and a goal is something you have in mind before you begin. And so you got to figure that one out. And then you've got to be mentally tough to make things happen. You can't just sit around and hope it comes by. You got to start applying your plan. And I tell you, at some point in time, you're going to have to ask for help. You know, but you have to be confident enough to ask for help, not because you're weak, but because you know it's going to make you stronger. And the people around you that see you are going to be confident enough that they're going to help you because they can see you taking the right steps. And no matter what, you just don't give up. I can't tell you how many wire burns I got on my back of getting to my goals just in the nick of time, just at the wire. Because we just don't give up. You can't give up on anything big or small because it will become a habit. And that's not the kind of habit you want. You want to have a habit of sticking it on the end and taking it on back and knowing you're going to create something. When I'm standing back on a punt return like Vince says, I've been many times, I'm standing back there and they just run me over. And my team's responsibility to make sure they got that first man if you can just get started. Once you get started, then you can start making things happen as you go. But you got to catch the ball, you know. A lot of times guys don't catch the ball because they're scared, you know. Fear makes it cover itself. FEAR, false evidence appearing real. It's just an illusion. You got to take control of yourself. We're made in the image of God. We can create things. You know, we're not just running around here. We got skills. We got skills, you know. We can make things happen. Let's take a picture with me and the whole crowd, Vince.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Brooke, you want to get some pictures?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to stand in the middle here. All right, everybody stand up. And let's do the Heisman pose. Everybody put the Heisman out here.
Everyone's got the arm out. Arm out. Leg up.
Put your leg out. There we go.
All right, guys, let's give Johnny a big hand.
All right. All right, buddy. Thank you. All right.
Two quick things. Josh and Shelley, are you going to talk for a couple minutes about the Prairie's development? Let's do that real quick. And then we got TJ, you got the Good Guy Award, right? All right. So we're going to wrap this up here, guys. We're tight on time, but we're going to crunch a couple things in here.
That was awesome. Thanks, Jet. Just 2 minutes. Vince, thanks for giving us the time.
Yes.
There's a new development in Bennington, and since it's kind of run by Berkshire Hathaway, he was nice enough to let us come up here and press it. But Prairie Hollow in Bennington, we're kind of going for the under 300 market, which a lot of agents right now, I know people on my team, you're out there, you're competing on contracts, 10, 15 contracts for one listing. So we wanted you guys to know about this product. We've got ranches starting in about the 260s for
$249
for Shelley's Viking Homes, and we've got 2 stories with 3-car garages starting at $275. There's another product out there by the Slobodskis that's attached townhomes starting in the 230s. So it's a cool neighborhood. A lot of tree line lots, as you can see here. Obviously, the competition is some of the tract builders in town here, but we're trying to put like a little bit better product out there, more efficient floor plans, better products, better finishes, that kind of thing.
The location?
We just dug the holes, so the ranges are just starting. His are a little further along with the 2 stories, so we'd love to.
Yeah, it's in Bennington School District, so yep.
So it's just, off of 156, east of 156.
Yep.
And north of, what is that highway?
Highway 36.
Highway 36.
So we're going to stick around at the end here, so we don't take up too much time. So if you guys have questions, it does qualify for USDA financing. Another cool thing about so you can get in for
villas, so they're going to be like maintenance free as far as lawn care, etc.
Are they customizable?
Slightly.
Okay.
When's the first one going to be done?
What's that?
When's the first one?
Our first one should be done in about 90 days. We've got 3 under construction. We just poured a 4th foundation, so.
And we're slightly behind that.
The lot pricing and what's available, is that on the website?
We have 2 different websites, so Viking Homes.
Viking Homes, yes. And
Same for us.
So the lots are all sold and you've got 3 builders building.
3 builders building in there, so yep. So they're attached to the builders. Yep.
Do you have estimated HOA fees yet?
They'll be about $70, 70 to 74, and that'll include trash, lawn, fertilization. And you can still have fences and all that stuff, so. Anybody else?
And there's a total of 45 lots, so hurry up.
Cool.
You guys will be in the back to answer questions? They'll be in the back. Thank you. TJ, you got the Good Guy Award? Are you going to give it to Johnny?
What's up? I wrote down a couple superlatives so I wouldn't forget anything, but I wanted to thank Tabitha for nominating me for the award. It was really great. This week's award, it goes to somebody, I sat outside their office, always helpful, always had a big smile, helped me whenever I would bug them. Positive, beyond just being a great realtor, great father, great husband, and again, just an overall good guy. So this week's award goes to John Gill.
Guys, we're going to wrap up here. I know we're over our time. Awards breakfast next Tuesday. Please get signed up with Janet if you haven't. I know we've got tons of people signed up. We're going to have lots of energy, lots of excitement, celebrating last year, but more importantly, looking forward to how we make 2020 a great year moving forward. Get out there, keep prospecting. Let's have a great year. It's off to a good start. Thank you. Game day.